Hi, everyone. My name is Connie Jacob. This is the New Voice in Coaching, and I'm here with our CEO of Certified Flourishing Coach, Abe Brown. Hey, Abe.
Hey, Connie. And you are the Director of Community Engagement, which is just awesome, right?
Yes, I love my role here, getting our community engaged. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about what does it take to have long-term success. And you've had so much long-term success, Abe, when it comes to certifying coaches. Did you say 8,500 coaches you've certified?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Maybe you could tell us a little bit of your story of the longevity of being in this game.
Well, I mean, that's a funny story because I really do appreciate your kind words, but often I feel like if there's anything I'm good at, it's stumbling and dropping the ball and failing. But I think, there's a few things in my life that I really felt called to or committed to, and definitely working with coaches, helping them to fulfill their dream, build their business, develop the gift and the calling that's within their lives has always been a real passion for me. And part of that is just this idea that, I can coach, absolutely, and I do. But if I coach coaches and support their growth, then the multiplier effect of that is profound, right? So I think, for me, it was a lot of rooms, a lot of hotel meeting rooms from Saskatchewan to Halifax to San Francisco to Florida to Manila to Hong Kong, to Singapore to different places, anywhere from 5 people to 40. And, you just do that enough over the years. And what happens is, pretty soon you build up a pretty solid track record. And I think that exposes one of the real keys to success. No matter if you're talking about business or your own life, or, a relationship or whatever. I mean, sometimes, you just got to keep putting your foot forward. I run every day. And one thing that running teaches you, and I mean, I'm not like an Olympic athlete, that's for sure. But when you're running, especially 5, 8, 10 kilometers, the only way is you just got to keep putting one foot after the other. That's it. Like, what's the strategy? Well, just don't stop moving until you arrive at your destination. And, in all of our journey, we get trapped and distracted and off track. And so I think that sort of idea of just stickability, perseverance is so important.
I think that's so good what you've just shared too, because you do model that year after year. You keep staying in that lane of certifying coaches. I was listening to a podcast this morning that was talking about to be successful, be in the top 5% of your industry. And when I think about you and the last 10 years and how you've stayed in this lane, certifying coaches, keeping that one foot in front of another, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting their journey? The one foot in front of the other, but there's other things that you've done too.
I think, a big part of success of sort of, again, almost any endeavor is this idea of fighting off or fending off the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
And that one is really hard. Like that is definitely hard for me. Like if you were to look up ADHD, and I don't mean this in a negative way, like my picture is in the dictionary besides the diagnosis. I mean, honestly, since I was like 7, 8 years old, psychologists and psychiatrists have been trying to analyze and figure out what's wrong with me, legit. And I think it's always been really easy for me to get diverted. And I recognized that early on because, there was so many pulls, internal, external, on my life. And, I guess what I've tried to do is war against distraction in my life. There was a young pianist, a concert pianist or violinist, some sort of quote unquote child prodigy. And this was, years and years ago. And she had played in the big concert halls of Vienna and in Italy and places like that. And she was, so successful early on. And they asked her, what's the secret to your success? And she startled them with her answer. She said, oh, that's simple. She said, it's planned neglect. And none of the reporters knew what that meant. And she said, I just plan to neglect everything that's not connected to my priorities. And what a powerful statement, right? Like, I really believe that an average person with focus will outperform a distracted genius every day of the week. And so many times we have these distracted geniuses, right? They're really awesome at a whole bunch of things, but the accumulation of that, if you're distracted, is that you don't actually end up getting a lot done. And so, I think advice for people out there is, is there just one thing that you're good at? Is there two or three things? Why don't you go after those, stay in your lane, and allow yourself the runway to become great at something? And that doesn't happen overnight. It can't. How can it?
Right. Yes. And I think in our world right now, that is the message. Be successful by Friday. Take this online course and you'll make your 6-figure business by next month. And I don't know how realistic that really is based on what you've just said and what you've experienced in your success and in building Certified Flourishing Coach. And so when it comes to Certified Flourishing Coach, what is the difference here that we're making in the lives of coaches?
Well, I think one of the things that we do is have an evidence-based model that actually teaches people and gives a profound number of practical tools, particularly around the science of flourishing. But honestly, there's a lot of great coach training out there. So I don't say that to say that we're better or worse than anyone else. I think what else we do that does differentiate us is more so around, we will fight with you and support you to help you achieve your goals, to help you win in building a business. And actually putting the question back on you, because you were sharing with me last week about the sort of the customer journey of coaches who come and work with us, and how often within their first 6 to 12 months, the focus is really about development internally. But then what happens around the 12-month mark is that shift begins to occur. And so we're not looking for people, hey, just give us your money. We'll take it, take a certification with us. We'll sign your thing and send you on your way. We actually want to go the distance with you, right? And maybe you could share a little bit about that story and that thinking that you were having with some of the people you're working with.
Yeah, it's been amazing to hear the feedback after one full cycle, one full year. And a lot of them are saying, it took me a year just to discover what that lane is that I want to be in.
Yeah.
And I think taking the time to discover that is important, because whatever lane you're going to run in, you want it to last. You don't want to run one lane one year and another the other year. It's going to evolve, but it's going to stay in the same lane. So to take a year to really dive in deep, and the personal development that they experience with us is, well, it's amazing. And one of the things that you and I both learn and have studied is belonging creates resilience.
Yeah.
And when people can run with a tribe, a community,
yeah,
they are going to be able to run the long distance. If I was in a marathon, Abe, I would need you running beside me, because running is hard for me. 5 minutes, I'd be like, somebody else run with me.
That's right. Now, if I was in a dance competition, I would need you. For those of you who don't know, Connie's quite a dancer. But, the thing I'll say about that, and when somebody says, oh my goodness, 1 year to discover yourself in your coaching program and in your process. And I would say at least, think about it. Most people who join us, they're often in their 30s, maybe their late 20s, but often 30s, 40s, sometimes even their 50s or 60s. And they've had life and people ramming an agenda down their throat for literally decades. And it's not their agenda. It's maybe they're an educator, maybe they're a social worker, maybe they're a massage therapist, maybe they're a mom, maybe they're a dad. But what they've had is all of these agendas that have been force-fed them for decades. And sometimes you just have to detox from that a little bit and give yourself a little bit of room to breathe in an environment where people, as coaches, we don't have an agenda for you beyond supporting you to discover and implement the dream and the vision that you've got for your life. And so, hey, I think that's one of the things that differentiates us. And so if you're watching this today and you'd like more info, please tune in to certifiedflourishingcoach.com, and we can give you lots of information. But, Connie, you've had explosive growth, and maybe you could just share, as we bring this to a wrap, what has been the thing that has helped you the most in the last 12 months? Because it's been a difficult year for people. We're filming this near the end of 2022. A lot of inflation, a lot of economic challenges, political instability, all of that. And yet you've continued to be resilient and to be flourishing in business as well. So what's worked well for you?
Oh, I don't even recognize myself, Abe, to be honest. What I was trying to do for 15 years by myself, sitting there in my secret lair, coming up with my secret plans by myself, I've never experienced such growth than partnering with you, with our team, with our tribe, because strength begets strength. And when I see you winning, it encourages me. When I see people in our tribe going after their goals and achieving them, it motivates me and it puts my plans into action. I've never been more focused in my life. And I'm with you on the ADHD. I think our pictures might be right next to each other.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks for that, Connie. And it's so great to hear that. So, hey, folks, we're with you. We're for you. You're not alone. You are absolutely, surrounded by all the support that you want or need. And so please do reach out. We're always here for you. I guess if I was watching this, a takeaway would be keep putting that one foot forward, keep staying focused, and don't try to do it yourself. Get some support. And we're here for you on that front for sure.
Yes. And if you liked this podcast, please subscribe because we have more coming your way. And we would love to hear from you. What would you like us to discuss here? If you're a coach, if you're somebody who wants to have influence, we want to help you. And this is a great way through YouTube and through podcasting. So please comment, let us know what you want to hear. Can't wait to share more with you, and we'll see you next time.